appropriate training. The teachers also need to have this love of teaching Tamazight, and they will be creative in helping their students. And not only we are not here in need of legal texts and so on. We need to motivate teachers and learners in order to facilitate the teaching and learning process of Tamazight language. For future directions, looking ahead, what initiatives or strategies do you believe are crucial for further promotion of the status of Tamazight in Moroccan society?
Yeah, concerning this question, the first thing to be done is that we need a political will, you know, a political will which encourages, you know, the teaching of Tamazight and its enforcement, you know, and its the teaching and enforcing, you know, or enforcement of Tamazight in Moroccan social life, not just in the domain or the field of education.
Good evening, esteemed guests, Mr. Amedyaz, Belal, researchers, professors, and colleagues. Welcome to our insightful lecture titled The Status of Tamazight in Morocco, Achievements and Challenges. We are honored to have you join us today for this important discussion that explores the linguistic and cultural significance of Tamazight in the Moroccan society. It might be the case in North Africa or the global South. We are privileged to have with us our distinguished speaker, Professor Belal Amedyaz, from the Faculty of Letters and Human Sciences at Mohammedia and at Mohammed V University. His expertise promises to enrich our understanding of the status of Tamazight, highlighting both its achievements and the challenges it faces. I would like to express my gratitude to Dr. Marwan Sakran, the Director of Beit Lisaniyat Academy, the Vice Director, Dr. Safiya Kassas. Thanks also to Dr. Abdelkader Bentouati, the Director of the Linguistics Research and Language Planning Team, for his unconditional support and efforts to advancing our knowledge in this field. Special thanks to Professor Yassin Jamal Idrisi for his efforts in facilitating this event and for all his participation in facilitating all events since he is the executive director of the academy. The other teams within this academy are doing great efforts as well in sharing knowledge and research results from different fields and disciplines. More greetings to all researchers and attendees joining us from various platforms. Your participation is invaluable, and I would like to remind everyone that attendance certificates will be provided to all participants. Just try to write your names in the live chat. And as we get on this journey to explore the status of Tamazight, I encourage you to engage actively in our discussion. Please feel free to share your names, affiliations, questions, and comments in the live chat. Let us now dive into the significant topic of Tamazight, its achievements and challenges in the Moroccan contemporary landscape. But first, we are honored to welcome our guest speaker, Mr. Belal Amedyaz, who was born in Zagora. He has deducted his career to education since becoming a teacher in 2011. He earned his baccalaureate in 2006 and a BA in English from Qadi Iyad University in Marrakesh. He furthered his studies with a master degree in linguistics and advanced English studies from the same university in 2019. Currently, Mr. Amedyaz is part-time lecturer at both the Faculty of Letters in Muhammadiyah and the Faculty of Sciences in Rabat. His commitment to education is matched by his active engagement in research, particularly in applied linguistics, with a focus on language planning and policy. As a PhD student in applied linguistics, he is deeply invested in exploring the complexities of language use and its implications for educational practices in Morocco. Mr. Amedyaz's insights into the dynamics of language planning will provide valuable perspectives as well as we explore the achievements and challenges of Tamazight in Morocco. We are eager to hear his expertise and how it can enhance our understanding of the linguistic landscape, especially regarding the status of Tamazight. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Belal Amedyaz. Mr. Belal, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, dear Hmad. I would like first to thank you and congratulate you for making the floor for us to participate and share our knowledge and our research in the field of applied linguistics, and namely language planning and policy in Morocco, which is especially the status of Tamazight, which keeps being a controversial issue due to many reasons. And through you, I would like to thank Beit Lisaniyat Academy for giving us this chance. So my presentation or lecture will be focused on the status of Tamazight in Morocco, achievements and challenges. And I would like just to say that I will focus on this lecture just on the status of Tamazight in the educational domain, which is a domain which I am working in since 14 years. And if it's possible, in the future, we can cover other issues like Tamazight in media, Tamazight in legislature, and other issues. So this lecture will be divided into three parts. The first one is about the status of Tamazight in Morocco, in which I will give a historical overview concerning the development or the progress of Tamazight language in Moroccan society, focusing on the domain of education. In the first section, we'll deal with the status of Tamazight in education policy in Morocco, and the last section will deal with challenges facing the generalization of the Amazigh language. So concerning the first section, which is about the status of Tamazight in Morocco, a historical background, a historical overview or background. First of all, it is of great importance to mention that some researchers prefer the term Berber instead of Tamazight, and the term Berber is mainly used in Western writings instead of the term Amazigh, but the more politically correct now in Morocco is, and the word which is official is Amazigh or Tamazight. The Amazigh language has existed since the earliest antiquity. Currently, the Amazigh language is spoken by about 30 million speakers in North Africa, according to some studies, from the oasis of Siwa in Egypt to Morocco, passing through Libya, Tunisia, Algeria, Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, and some regions in Mauritania. In fact, millions of people in Morocco and in Algeria natively speak Tamazight, Tamazight language or Tamazight dialect or variety or one of them. For example, in Morocco, we have 3 regional varieties, Tamazight, Tarifit, and Tashlhit. And in Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, and especially in Algeria, we have other, varieties, but they are all related to Tamazight. Besides smaller populations in Libya, Tunisia, northern Mali, western and northern Niger, northern Burkina Faso and Mauritania, and the Siwa oasis in Egypt are speaking Tamazight as stated by Maddie Weitzman Bruce in 2011 in her work entitled The Berber Identity Movement and the Challenge of North African States. In Morocco, according to the census of 2024, the Amazigh language is the mother tongue of about 24.8% of Moroccan population. In fact, Tamazight is an umbrella which is divided into 3 regional varieties. Here I'm speaking about Morocco, which are Tarifit in the north, Tamazight used in the middle and Atlas region, in addition to Tashlhit, which is spoken in Sousse region. Always depending upon the census of 2024, about 14.2% of Moroccans speak Tashlhit, followed by Tamazight with about 7.4% of speakers, and ultimately 3.2% of Moroccan people whose mother tongue is Tarifit. I will open a parenthesis here and say that the findings related to 2024 general population housing census were severely criticized by Amazigh civil society bodies, namely the Moroccan Association for Research and Cultural Exchange, known as AMREC. According to this association, there was a systematic exclusion of Tamazight in the census process, and that Tamazight was not considered an official language during the preparation phase. Besides, AMREC claims that the High Commission for Planning has deliberately marginalized Tamazight in its communication campaign, and that it has designed the census questionnaire in a way that contradicts the linguistic and reality of respondents. I close my parenthesis here. In addition, the Amazigh language has a script form called New Tifinagh, or in Morocco, we say Tifinagh Irkam. Tifinagh Irkam. Alphabet based on 32 characters. This script is descended from the ancient Libico-Berber alphabet and was adopted by the Royal Institute of Amazigh Culture. I already said that the script used in Morocco is named Tifinagh Irkam because it is firstly used and adopted by Irkan. In fact, the language policy adopted in Morocco after independence has led to the institutional marginalization of the Amazigh language due to the Arabization policy, which was introduced and promoted by the Istiqlal Party, the party of independence after Morocco got its independence in 1956. Following this policy, the Amazigh language was subordinated and regarded as having less value in the Moroccan linguistic market, at least until 90s. In the wake of democratic spring, some people call it Arab Spring, but I would like here to call it democratic Spring instead of Arabic. Tamazight is recognized as an official language in 2011 constitution. Nevertheless, Amazigh has not implemented accurately due to the absence of the political will, which can make the legislation laws relating to Tamazight in force. The teaching of Tamazight should not be hindered by ideological conflicts between political parties, and most precisely between conservatives and modernists. For this reason, we can say that the preservation of the Amazigh language and culture is likely to be assigned to the regime instead of to, these political parties, or let's say these ideological parties which throughout history, keep hindering, the progress in the implementation of laws, especially organic laws and circular laws related to Tamazight. Besides reshaping the status of teaching, Tamazight depends upon improving the working conditions of specialized teachers of this language, since some of them are usually asked to teach other subjects, despite the fact that they are trained to teach only Tamazight. We will discuss this later on concerning this dilemma of enforcing teachers to teach other subjects that they are not, trained in. In addition, Tamazight teaching materials must be provided, and above all, the parents' attitudes and beliefs about their children learning Tamazight should be changed, and that's mainly the role of the media. The fact that parents look down at this language because it lacks future prospects and underestimates its teaching and learning and enforces its marginalization. In fact, there is a continuing trend that job market in Morocco requires only foreign languages, especially French and English, which, as a result, maintain the Amazigh and even Arabic languages downgrading. And this is what I can say in the first part. Concerning the second part, which is about the status of Tamazight in education policy in Morocco, first of all, it should be noted that France colonized Morocco between 1912 and 1956. During that time, Moroccans were expected to learn French, only French. During the colonization period, students were receiving instruction in content areas only in French. The ultimate goal was to use only French in teaching, and that helped it to be the official language of government, education, business, in addition to sciences. In fact, during the 44 years period of French colonization, the upper classes would send their children to study in France. They consider French the door that opens opportunities in teaching, business, and mainly in academic, professional life. Spanish is another language spoken in Morocco. It dates back to 1911. 1912, when the Spanish protectorate was first established, and Spanish was official language in northern and southern Morocco, and was used in a range of administrative domains. This language has gradually lost its status due to the policy of Arabization embraced by Moroccan state after independence. It is of a great importance to stress that until 1965, which means 9 years after Morocco got its independence, education was still in French. At that time, Morocco began its Arabization policy, which was gradually introduced to the field of education. It took 3 years to be introduced to primary education, and secondary school was Arabized over the following years. Following this policy, by 1980, Morocco had fully Arabized the first 4 grades of primary education. The Arabization of secondary school or secondary education have not achieved until 1990. Primary, the Arabization of both primary and secondary education were totally Arabized by, let's say, 1990, 1991. Generally speaking, the complete Arabization of public primary and secondary school was considered as an accomplished mission for the nationalistic and pan-Arabist sector of the political and cultural elites, and it had been perceived by the masses as an integral part of Morocco's struggle for autonomy from the colonizer, especially from France's influence. The declaration of Arabic as the official and national language of the state by post-independence Moroccan government targeted ensuring national unity and putting an end to colonial legacy. These policy had targeted the eradication of French from the education sector and making Arabic capable of fulfilling the cultural, technological, administrative, and educational requirements of Morocco, as stated by Muhannaji in 2005 and by Mali in 2000. In fact, the primary goal of Arabization policy was the exclusion of mother tongues from school curricula and the transition to an Arabic-only medium of instruction. This policy, however, failed to reach its outcomes as Moroccan successive governments failed to Arabize higher education. In fact, it is until now French still the medium of instruction in faculties, mainly in faculties of science, medicine and engineering, and in teaching, for example, law and other subjects. In 1999, a new Moroccan education policy was initiated by the aim of reforming the education system. During this year, during the school year, 1999 and 2000, the National Charter of Education and Training was adopted, and this charter aimed to restructure Moroccan education and recognize local languages, namely Amazigh language. The National Charter of Education and Training included a number of articles relating to the future language policy in the field of education, especially the status of foreign languages, namely English language, and the Amazigh, which has become an official language. Act 9, Article 110 stated that the goal was to perfect the teaching and use of Arabic language, strengthen foreign languages, and be open to the teaching of Tamazight. In this regard, the Charter declared the Amazigh language as important as any other languages. Besides, it's of great importance to mention that in the Charter, the Amazigh culture and language were emphasized to be part of the country's cultural inheritance. The integration of Tamazight into the educational charter can be considered a crucial step in the recognition of the Amazigh culture and identity, despite the fact that the function assigned to the Amazigh language is built only on encouraging Moroccan schools to practice a kind of opening on Tamazight. In the same token, the Ajdir Dahir on October 17, 2001 marked the beginning of a new era for Tamazight through the creation of the Royal Institute of the Amazigh Culture, known as IRCAM Institute. The most important tasks assigned to the institute are the promotion and strengthening of the place of the Amazigh culture and language in the educational system, society, and media landscape. Among the achievements fulfilled by IRCAM so far are the ongoing standardization of the Amazigh language and the choice of the Tifina script as its official writing system. And shortly after the creation of IRCAM, Tamazight was integrated in the Moroccan education sector, more precisely into primary school or primary education in September 2003. The language was first introduced in 300 schools, taught by teachers who received pedagogical training in the Amazigh language teaching. This means that the first cohort or group of teachers who are assigned to teach Tamazight in 2003 are not specialized in Tamazight, but they were, let's say, teachers of French and Arabic, but they are assigned to teach the Amazigh language after a training they took, and they start, teaching Tamazight. During that time, a debate raised concerning the script in which Tamazight should be taught. This debate has led to three proposals, or the proposal of three candidates, namely, which were the Tifina alphabet, the Arabic alphabet, and the Latin alphabet. In fact, the codification of Tamazight was politicized and gave rise to heated debates between conservatives who preferred the Arabic script and modernists who prefer the Latin script. Ultimately, the choice was Tifina. In fact, the implementation process of the Amazigh education policy is governed by the collaboration between IRCAM and the Ministry of Education. And in 2005, 140 teachers and inspectors were trained to teach Tamazight, and in 2007, the number increased to 2,000. The number of teachers of Amazigh then dropped to 1,140 in 2008. The Amazigh language was then incorporated into Moroccan universities, with which IRCAM established partnership, especially in Benaissa, in Agadir, and in Fas, in Mohammed the first in Oujda, and Hassan the second in Casablanca. The aim was to create departments specialized in the Amazigh language and culture. And in 2011, and following the 20 February movement, this had led to a new constitutional reform, and the efforts of the Amazigh militants groups that participated in the protests did not go unnoticed, and the Amazigh language was lastly, and finally constitutionalized and declared official alongside with Moroccan Standard Arabic. In fact, the constitutionalization of the Amazigh language in 2011 should have improved the teaching of Tamazight, yet the reality is still the opposite. According to 2009, IRCAM estimates around 10,000 cadres, which means inspectors and instructors, were needed to generalize the teaching of Tamazight to the level of baccalaureate, which means there was a need of about 9,000 cadres in order to generalize the teaching of Tamazight from primary school, middle school to high school. Lately, on January 14th, 2025, in addressing the House of Representatives, Saeed Barada, the Minister of National Education, said that the total number of schools teaching Tamazight in the country is 3,400, which represents about 40% of the total schools in Morocco. The number of specialized teachers of Tamazight in Morocco has increased from 200 in 2021 to 600 in 2022 to 1,200 in 2023, and it reached 1850 in 2024. If we add 442 teachers who are in training centers, the total number will be 2272 by September 2025. This means that after 14 years of being officialized by the Constitution, the Amazigh language still needs about 3,000 instructors so as to be generalized in Moroccan primary schools. And here we focus on public schools and not on private schools, since Tamazight remains an optional language in private schools. One more thing to be added in this regard is that the number of Amazigh specialized inspectors today is zero. And that the number of the first group or cohort of specialized inspectors in Tamazight who are now taking their training in the center in Rabat is 12. If we divide the number of specialized teachers of Tamazight, here I highlight specialized teachers, not teachers assigned to teach Tamazight who were already, who are already trained in French or in Arabic. I focus here on specialized teachers of Tamazight. If we divide the number of those teachers by the number of inspectors, we will find that there are 189 teachers for each inspector, which will not be an easy task and will not help achieve quality both in supervision and in continuous training. And now we shall move to the last section, which is about challenges facing the generalization of the Amazigh language. The teaching of the Amazigh is still lagging behind due to a number of reasons, which can be stated as follows. The first one is that the Amazigh language is not made an obligatory item in the school curriculum. Here, I can say that it is optional it is optional in private schools, and despite the fact that it is, generalized according to organic laws, yes, to be taught in public schools, the majority of public schools make it optional. Until now, they make it optional. It is since we don't have, organic laws which stressing that the teaching of the Amazigh language is obligatory. Since it is not obligatory, so it is optional. The second reason is the follow-up of the teaching of Amazigh is rather weak. There are no specialized inspectors who supervise the teaching of Tamazight, since the first cohort, as I have mentioned earlier, will be graduated this year. Those supervising Tamazight teaching are either French or Arabic inspectors who perform inspection tasks of Tamazight on assignment, which means that they are not specialized inspectors. And this will affect the quality of teaching this language in Moroccan public schools. Due to the absence of clear supervision, some academies teach 3 hours, 3 hours per week of Tamazight, and 3 hours of teaching Tamazight is the allotted time, depending upon the circulars, given by the Ministry of Education, 3 hours a week, whereas others teach only 2 hours, and yet some academies teach just 1 hour or even none, The third reason is that there is a lack of continuous teacher training. In fact, the teacher training session launched in July 2003 by the Ministry of Education, but it has not been followed by other training sessions and workshops. The fourth reason is the time allotted to the teaching of Tamazight 3 hours a week is not enough. Some schools teach only Tifinagh without Amazigh content, and sometimes some classes of Tamazight are replaced by classes of drawing or educational support. The state of affairs is resulted due to the lack of specialized teachers or the lack of motivation on the part of administration. The fifth reason is the teaching of Amazigh is not geographically generalized throughout Morocco. It is not generalized to cover the entire territory, and this situation is a result of the lack of infrastructure and more precisely the absence of the local will. Here I am talking about political will being, from the center, from the Ministry of Education and the political parties. And now I am talking about the political will, which is regionally based, from the academies and the directorates of education. The sixth reason is that the teaching of Tamazight is attributed to the weak of media support, which is still lagging behind. In fact, the promotion of the Amazigh language can be achieved or can achieve great results if it is accompanied by media support. The seventh and last reason is that the definite script is often a problem. After the second year, here I'm talking about the second year in primary schools, for it is difficult to read long texts. The curriculum says that students must learn long texts depending upon just definite script, and it is a difficult task, for students who have taught Tamazight just for 2 years, and most schools still lack audio-visual aids which can help in teaching Tamazight. All in all, regression in the teaching of the Amazigh language mirrors regression in the political will. In fact, the lack of political will always leads to a laxity on the part of the Ministry of Education and with respect to the implementation of various agreements and conventions signed between, both the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Communication and Ilkan Institute concerning the implementation of Tamazight. What is incomprehensible in this regard is that despite the fact that royal support for the Amazigh language teaching and enforcing Moroccan social life, the implementation apparatus is still lagging behind. Thank you so much, Hmad. Your questions are welcomed. Now we can open a discussion and we can answer the questions relating to what I have covered, and if there are other questions relating to this lecture, especially the teaching, we have to focus on the status of Tamazight just and the field of education, hoping to cover other domains in the near future. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Belal. The lecture on the status of Tamazight in Morocco provides a comprehensive exploration of the language and its evolving role within Moroccan society. The historical context bring in with the establishment of the Royal Institution of Tamazight or Amazigh culture and the constitutionalization of the language of Tamazight, mainly in 2011 with the new constitution. We noticed that there was a change because of the new constitution in 2011. It underscores the significant steps made towards the renewal of this pillar of the Moroccan language. It's a pillar also of the Moroccan culture, pillar of the Moroccan society as well. The structured sections of your presentation covered language planning and policy, the status of Tamazight post-independence, and the importance of
I'm not hearing you. There's a problem with the sound. Hmad? Yeah, no? Yeah. Perfect.
now the sound is good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have to repeat what I have just said. Okay. So the lecture on the status of Tamazight in Morocco provides a Mr. Bilal?
Yeah, yeah, it's good now. Yeah, perfect.
Now it's
Yeah,
okay?
yeah,
Okay, just a minute, please.
yeah,
What about now?
yeah, it's good.
Good?
Yeah,
Okay. Sorry again for this problem. What I want to say is that the lecture on the status of Tamazight in Morocco provides a comprehensive exploration of the language and its evolving role and its revolving role within Moroccan society. Just to open the cam. Okay, the historical context bring in with the establishment of the Royal Institute of the Amazigh culture and the new constitution that paved the way for Tamazight to get more importance in the educational system in 2011 underscores the significant steps made towards the renewal of this pillar of the Moroccan language, the culture, and it's also a pillar of the Moroccan society as well. The constructed sections of the presentation that you delivered covers language planning and policy, the status of Tamazight in post-independence as well. You have provided insights into the complex interplay between language and identity in Morocco. The examination of how various laws and previous legislations can enhance Tamazight's status in education and social life highlights a crucial avenue for further development. Particularly noteworthy is the analysis of the role of the Moroccan institutions that try to promote the Amazigh language, which serves as a cornerstone for its integration into the educational and media frameworks. By addressing the presence of Tamazighs in the legislation or in the Moroccan legislation system, the lecture effectively illustrates the multifaceted dimensions of language policy and its impact or its implications for the wider community. The findings suggest that while significant progress has been made, there remains a pressing need for ongoing support and resources to fully realize potential of Tamazights in all spheres of life. This aligns with the understanding that effective language policies are essential in fostering inclusivity and cultural identity. So the recommendations you provided for enhancing educational frameworks and media representation of the Amazigh language are critical for empowering future generations or future speakers of Tamazight language and also future learners. And they can ensure the language policy in contemporary or promote the language policy in contemporary Moroccan society. This lecture not only sheds light on a remarkable journey of Tamazight, but also sets the stage for future discussions on language regeneration and policy implementation, emphasizing that the recognition and promotion of marginalized languages are vital for societal cohesion and cultural diversity. Let's try to discuss with you some questions that we have got. Let's start by the question. First question is, how do you see the recent language policies in Morocco, particularly regarding Tamazight influencing its integration into the educational system?
Concerning this question, I would like to focus on an essential element, which is the standardization, the standardization of Tamazight language, which took a long time, and it is not accomplished till now. The language policies relating to Tamazight, we have to know that those policies are taken, at the macro level. By macro level, I mean by the ministry, but they have to be implemented, in the macro level. By macro level, I mean academies and regional directorates. If we don't have laws which make the implementation of those organic laws compulsory, there will be no achievements and no results can be achieved, relating to the generalization of the Amazigh language, in the field of education. Here, I would like to mention, there is, in fact, analyzing language policies, relating to Tamazight can be revealed through two phases. The first one starts in 2003, 2003, and ends in 2011. 2003 is linked to the creation of the IRCAM Institute, and 2011 is known by the new, Moroccan constitution, which made the Amazigh language an official and a constitutionalized language side by side with Moroccan Standard Arabic. The second phase starts in 2012 until 2025. I will focus here on the second one. Since the question is about the policies, which are taking place, now concerning the Amazigh language teaching. The second one, it represents the constitutionalization of the Amazigh language, which took place in 2011. This period is mainly known by the lack of a political will. I can see it here. There is a lack of a political will, especially by the political parties, namely the PGD. The PGD has led the first and the second governments, starting from 2011 until 2021, and even this government of the government, let's say, of Aziz Akhnouch, there is no progress, concerning the implementation and the implementation of laws relating to Tamazight and and its generalization, especially in the field of education and in Moroccan society as a whole. There is no encouraging, political will to give Tamazight its right status as it is, mentioned as an official language, in the constitution. Language standardization has not been accomplished yet, and the time allotted to, Tamazight is 30 minutes a day. Yes, which is not sufficient at all. There is also a lack of organic laws determining the rights and responsibilities of the specialized Amazigh teachers. There exist, schools even now where the Amazigh or the Tamazight specialized teachers find themselves enforced, to teach either Arabic or French, in spite of teaching, the Amazigh language in which they are trained. Above all, decision makers still consider, and this is what is, the difficult point, in this issue, is that, politicians still consider teaching Tamazight that it has come, just as a result of a political, change in Morocco, especially after the democratic spin of the Arab spin, as most people, call it, and that its integration in the education system is, no more than calming down, the Amazigh movement militant. Another reason which underestimates the Amazigh language is that it's not generalized to cover middle school and high school, which makes its status in education sector a weak one. The absence of Tamazight in both middle and high school make parents and students look at this language as being, without horizons, and instead of focus on learning other languages, like French, English, and other subjects, if this is the right situation of Tamazight teaching in Morocco. Students, if they learn Tamazight, and if they are learning Tamazight in, let's say, in a primary school, they can learn it just for 6 years, and when, becoming middle school students, there will be break, and they will forget all the materials and all the things that they have learned in primary school. Yes, Hmad.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you, Mr. Belal, for answering this question. I am facing some technical problems related to the network. Let's move to the second question, which is about the challenges and in implementation. What are some of the primary challenges that you have observed in implementing Tamazight language programs in schools, and how do you think these challenges can be addressed? In the same line, we have a question that is in the comments, in which one of our followers says that what is the best to teach in Tamazight, by Arabic or by teaching Tamazight by Tamazight itself?
Yes. Concerning the first section of your question, concerning the challenges, in a number of studies and surveys taken in Moroccan public schools, the challenges are related to the lack of teacher trainings. There is a shortage in teacher trainings, the lack of textbooks, a lot of time for teaching Tamazight is not sufficient. There is no specialized classrooms, for Amazigh language teaching, like we find in high schools. There exist specialized, school, classes for example, for English, for biology, for other challenges are related to the absence of motivation. The absence of motivation from even from directors, from the directorates, and from even the ministry. The learning Tamazight in most cases is optional, and as I have mentioned, another challenge is that in most, and you can know about that in reports, that there exist in some schools some teachers who are specialized in Tamazight find themselves enforced to teach other subjects, like French or Arabic. Other challenges can be settled like, I can open a parenthesis concerning the standardization of the Amazigh language. Standardization in Arabic is توحيد لغوي. The Amazigh.
Sorry, Mr. Belal. Here we have a question that is related to what you want to say now. Mr. Nabi says, though this standardization takes into consideration the differences in dialects in different regions from Morocco, or they did not give importance to this diversity of language.
Yes, generally speaking, the standardization of the Amazigh language is another problem. If I was in Zagora, for about 10 years, and from time to time I discuss with teachers teaching Tamazight. The population, about half or more than the population in Zagora are Amazigh people, and students coming from those families, when getting to school and, for example, finding tinmel, which is an Amazigh word for school, they even don't know it, and they are Amazigh, but we cannot achieve all people's like let's say Wales. Standardization is very important, and that's the task of the IRCAM Institute. They take from each variety something, some words, yes, they combine them and they give us, for example, text in Tamazight. What's the most important thing is that we have to make students, open to Amazigh learning. This acceptance and this social acceptance of Tamazight learning is more than, those are, small, problems relating to standardization and other, if we have this social yes.
Yeah, Mr. Bilal, I got your point. So you mean that we need to motivate our students to learn the Amazigh language. And as you said, that would be possible if teachers of Tamazight language get the appropriate
sound. I can't hear you. Now the sound isn't clear. Yeah.
Mr. Bilal?
Yes.
Now it's
yes.
Now it's okay.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
sorry for this technical problem again.
Yeah.
I want to say that you mentioned that teachers
Sorry, I can't hear you, Hmad.
Sorry again. What about now? Do you hear me now?
Yeah, it's okay now. Yeah.
I'm sorry for this problems. This is the negative side of using technology and this meetings. I want to say that you mentioned that students need to be motivated in order to like or to love learning Tamazight language, and this will be possible if the teachers got the appropriate training. The teachers also need to have this love of teaching Tamazight, and they will be creative in helping their students. And not only we are not here in need of legal checks and so on. We need to motivate teachers and learners in order to facilitate the teaching and learning process of Tamazight language. For future directions, looking ahead, what initiatives or strategies do you believe are crucial for further promotion of the status of Tamazight in Moroccan society?
Yeah, concerning this question, the first thing to be done is that we need a political will, a political will which encourages, the teaching of Tamazight and its enforcement, and its the teaching and enforcing, or enforcement of Tamazight in Moroccan social life, not just in the domain or the field of education, but in media and other domains. The second thing is that we need to cover, the teaching of the Amazigh language must cover all the Moroccan territory, and we need more organic laws, more circulars, and more provisions, stressing, the right implementation of Tamazight. We also need to offer, suitable or adequate, trainings for teachers in order to polish their, qualifications, and we have and we need also to make, people have. Here I am talking about society. Society must have a good relationship, and acceptance, acceptance of the learning of Tamazight, the teaching and the learning of Tamazight, and this is the role of the media. This is the role of the media. Another thing relating to this question is that we have to make or to give a lot of time, for Tamazight programs, series, films, not just in the Tamazight channel, but in, for example, Deuxième, Al-Oula, and so many other
on
channels.
national channels, indeed. Thank you so much, Bilal, for all ideas you shared with us today. Your contribution have triggered several questions. There are several questions, but because of some constraints and stuff, we have to move on, and we may have other opportunities in which we discuss more questions that are in the live chat. Thank you for all these insightful ideas, and on behalf of everyone present, I want to convey our sincere gratitude for this enlightening and thoughtful lecture. Before we end this lecture, Mr. Bilal, any final words or thoughts?
What I would like to say is that the issue of Tamazight is a controversial issue. It is dealt with and studied from different perspectives. We, as scholars, we can and we have to depend just on what is scientific and what is real. There can be people and even researchers that can have the opposite ideas relating to what I have mentioned, but I would like just to say that research in language planning and policy, sometimes make you have even contradict ideas when searching and when reading materials concerning two languages. The last word, Hmad, is that I would like to thank you, and I would like to express my gratitude to you and through you to Beit Lisaniyat Academy. And I would just like to say that you are doing a great job, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Bilal. It is our duty as researchers to work collaboratively with various researchers and also research institutions in order to provide reliable and valid data or results that may facilitate the improvement of the integration of Tamazight in the Moroccan educational system and so on. Thank you so much for joining to us today for this enlightening lecture on the status of Tamazight in Morocco, achievements and challenges. Special thanks to our esteemed speaker, Mr. Bilal Amedyaz, for sharing his valuable insights and research. For example, for our guests here, provided several ideas, and I think that he provided a lot of statistics that you may use in your own research. And the findings also are unique, and he raised questions that may help researchers. Your contribution, Mr. Bilal, have significantly enhanced our understanding of the role of Tamazight in the Moroccan society, or the status of Tamazight in the Moroccan educational system. I would also like to extend my gratitude to everyone involved in organizing this event, especially the linguistic research and language planning team, alongside with the Academy's board of directors and our technical team of their hard work and support. Thank you to our audience for your active engagement and questions throughout the session. You, your participation also enriches our discussion and diverse our collective understanding forward. We encourage you to continue exploring research related to Tamazight, to linguistics and applied linguistics as well as the other areas of study. We hope to see you in our future event. Once again, thank you, Mr. Amedyaz. We look forward to your contribution in the the future lectures and also future conferences. Our next, we hope to see you all at our next session titled "Reflective Teaching," which will be on Tuesday, the 1st of March, and the 4th of Ramadan, inshallah. Have a great evening. Thank you for being with us today. Thank you, Mr. Bilal.
Thank you so much, dear Ahmed.
Okay, you're welcome.